is Chris Okagbue. I am an actor, a producer, amongst many things. I like to dabble in a lot of things. I started my whole journey in showbiz in 2004. I was 17 at the time, and I just recently moved to Lagos full time. Before then, I just used to visit. So I started modeling in 2004 and kind of delved into acting by accident in 2007. Followed some friends to an audition, and just out of curiosity to what the whole fuss was about, I gave it a shot and I got a role, and that was the beginning for me for acting. And it turned into a passion from something that I was just enjoying for the fun of it. It became a passion, and then continually became something that I was passionate about, something that I was very, very interested in, and something that I loved. And that has been my driving force till date. Growing up for me was fun. I grew up in a large household. I have quite a number of siblings. I have 4 sisters and a twin brother. So other than my immediate family, I always had my cousins around. So it was a large home. There was always something to fight over or argue over, kids. And it was fun growing up. And delving into showbiz for me was something I kind of always knew that I wanted to, be in showbiz from when I was young. So it happened after we moved to Lagos, my family and I. And it wasn't really that much of a big deal for my folks. I had lost my dad, God rest his soul. My mom is very open-minded to stuff like that. She's very supportive. My older sister was a guide because she was already in the modeling industry before I joined, and so she was a guide for me in the beginning until I found my footing. And it's been fun so far. It obviously has its ups and downs, but what I always say is when you're passionate about something, you don't see it as work. As long as you love what you're doing, you never have to work a day in your life. So you find yourself going the extra mile, doing the extra that you normally wouldn't do if it was something that you were not passionate about. So I love what I do. I enjoy it so much, and I think that there's much more to come, more than people have already seen so far. So let's see how the future unfolds. I can be regarded as a village boy, as a matter of fact. Yes, most people don't believe, but I kind of grew up in a village. Yeah, so I'm very, very groomed and grounded in the extra basic things. Very, very, very groomed in stuff like. I think it's helped me a lot in life, because when you've seen the other side of life, the very simple, the very basic kind of side of life, and then when you're exposed to the opposite, it doesn't really get to your head because you've seen the opposite. So it's helped me so much to keep a relatively calm level-headedness in the industry, because we know how crazy the industry can be, with the fame and the popularity, and everyone wanted to be on your case. So sometimes it can get to your head when you start to feel like you're all that. But it helped me to know that there's always going to be a new kid on the block. There's always going to be a new celebrity. So stay in your lane, do what you can to please your fans and make yourself happy. And that's basically it for me. So yes, I can be regarded as a village boy, not even an Abra on a chaboy, like a typical village boy. Yeah. As far as I know, the title of the Obi of Onitsha goes from family to family, not necessarily from father to son. I am a prince, and the thing about princehood is you do not ever stop being a prince, even if your father is not king anymore. Because unlike some other offices, like being a governor or being a president, there are terms to that when you can serve for like 4 years or go for a second term. But once you're king until you die. And what I would consider special about my situation is the fact that I was born into royalty. My dad was already king before I was born. The difference between that and you haven't already been born and see your father become king, it's not that different. But if you're like an in-house person, you would know the difference. So I was born into royalty, so I'm always going to be a prince. In regards to someday becoming the Obi of Onitsha, I don't know. I don't think I'm interested in that. I don't think I have had my share of royalty while my dad was alive. So the funny thing is, a couple of people have said it in the past, maybe sometime in the future, myself or my twin brother would end up becoming the new king. But I know for a fact that he's not interested in that. I am not interested in that. I mean, I love my life. I love, what I'm doing. And if I do become king, obviously there's a lot that I cannot do anymore. There's a lot that comes with it, a lot of responsibility. I don't shy away from leadership because I have leadership qualities, but that is a pretty high level that I don't think I want on my shoulders. So I'm fine where I am for now. Okay, modeling, I've done a lot. I like to think that I've achieved quite a number of things, even though I believe that there's, like I said, so much more that I can achieve. But I think I've done pretty good for myself. I have, modeled for so many big brands that for the sake of, how do I put it, not breaching contracts, I'd really rather not mention names, but I've done, stuff for big telecommunication brands. I've done stuff for big pharmaceutical brands. I've done stuff for big electronic brands and, beverage brands and stuff like that. So my work experience, I think every project is unique. Every job that I do is unique from the last job, because obviously you're working with a different set of people, you're working with a different crew, you're working in a different environment. You're working probably in a different country. So I am an open-minded person. So for every project that I take on, I go in there expecting anything. So I don't, be overly disappointed or overly excited about the things that I experience at the end of the day. So that's just it for me. I take on every project like it's a new one, like it's the first time. And I think it helps me enjoy it more. So it's been fun. Now, my take on sexuality is this. I think people are a bit tunnel vision in this topic. The reason why I see this is, gayism and lesbianism is everywhere in the world. The reason why people in showbiz seems like they are into it more is because of the line of work that they do. We are in the public eye. So regardless of whatever we do, the chances are it's gonna come out in public, right? Go to offices, go to banks, go to all your companies. These things are everywhere, but because of the kind of business that they do, which is not necessarily out there, we may not get to hear about it. So we are in the industry, we are in the entertainment industry, so anything can come out as news. And as far as people are concerned, no news is bad news as far as showbiz is concerned. So I'm not homophobic, right? I believe that everyone is entitled to their sexuality. I also strongly believe that there is right and then there is wrong. But I am not of the opinion that I should enforce my own views on someone else, because I do not know what experiences you've had in your life that has made you who you've become. I don't know the circumstances that have molded you into the person that you are now in terms of your sexuality. To be honest, in the industry, I have not really had that much experience. Contrary to what most people think, I have actually never been harassed before in any way or form. It might be hard to believe, but it's true. In my more than 10 years in the industry right now, it's never happened before. To me, I kind of find it surprising because when I hear people's stories, I'm like, how come it's never happened to me? Maybe my God is the one that is pushing these things away. But the ones that I have had the chance to work with, I find them actually very, very industrious and very good at their jobs. I don't have a problem with your sexuality as long as it does not interfere with the work that we do. And you're able to do your part and I do my part to make sure that the entire project as a whole sees the light of day and it becomes what we intended for it to become when we started the project. Anything else other than that is your business and I face my business. So handle your thing and I handle my thing. I am not gay. I love women a lot. So let's have that on record.
escaping Balo, would you do me the honor of being my wife?
Well, you know, anyone that knows Chris Okagbue and is used to my works and interviews know that I like to keep my private life private. But for your sake, I think I'll, open up a little bit, right? I'm a big fan of the institution of marriage, and I hope to someday soon, settle down, get married, have a family, because I know what it was like growing up, and I think I would want to have that. I would want my kids to have that opportunity to have a mom and a dad in one home and experience what a family should be to the best of my ability. So yes, I will definitely get married sometime. I'm not one of those people who, because you're in showbiz, you never want to get married because you're scared you might lose your fan base or this or that. I mean, it is the work that I'm doing. My work is my work, and yes, it is showbiz. But at the end of the day, I still also have a personal life that I need to fulfill, and I need to be happy as well. And if I feel like having a family, getting married, and having a family is what's going to grant me ultimate fulfillment, then I will do, because I'm not going to be in showbiz forever. When I'm 70 and old and gray, the truth is, it is not my fans, no disrespect, that would take care of me when I'm old and gray. You will need that person to grow old with, share experiences with, experience life with, have kids with, have grandkids with. So I look forward to that. Physically, I'm attracted to girls that are quite slim, not extremely slim, not the model type kind of slim. Have some flesh, but slim and curvy at the same time. But what I would say is that growing up, the older I get, the more I realize that what I want in a woman kind of changes. A couple of years ago, I would find it very cliche when you say I want a God-fearing woman and all of that. But growing older right now, I honestly believe that it's very important. I do not necessarily want you to be the biggest church goer or carry church for head, that kind of thing. But I have come to a place in my life where I've realized that you need a partner who knows God. I just need you to know God. Believe that there is a God. Believe that there's a supreme being called God, and let us journey. Let us go on that journey together to do His will, live right, be happy, and all of that. Because I believe that if you find such a partner who goes by the commandments of God, it will even help your marriage. Because there are some things that you would want to do that are wrong, but you don't know that they are wrong because you were not brought up that way. But if you know the word, you would know that they are wrong. So there's a different aspect to it if you know the word than if you don't know the word. I'm not the biggest church, but I'm not like a pastor or anything, but I try to do right. I believe that there's a God, and I would want that in my woman. Also, very importantly, I would want someone who is open-minded, who can hold a conversation. I think that one of the things that has grown, that has changed about me, has morphed about me in terms of what I would want in a future partner is I find that I'm more attracted to intelligence than your physical appearance. So someone I can have a conversation with, someone I can be out with a couple of friends that we have a reasonable conversation, and you have your own inputs, and I find that extremely attractive. Then I'm a face person. I like pretty faces. I see your face first before your body. So if your face is beautiful and then your body is my spec as well, let's go. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Nowhere in particular. I am a very spirited person, and I don't like to feel limited. I don't like to feel like, because I am doing this because this person or that thing has inspired me to do it. I might be wrong, but it's my way of thinking. I like to think that you can be inspired by anything at any time, by anyone, So it all depends on what I feel at that moment, what I want to achieve at that moment, what is my set goal at that moment. I am more of a many short-term goals than one long-term goal. Not that it's bad to have a one long-term goal, but I like to I feel like it keeps me on my toes when I feel the need to achieve, and I'm just basically ticking off things from my list. So whatever thing that I'm working on at the time that I feel I need inspiration for, it has to come from something that is in relation to what I am working on. So my inspiration comes from anywhere, but most I think it comes from my family. Yeah. My lowest moment in life would most definitely be between 2000 and 2002, because that was when I lost my grandmom, my dad, and my immediate older brother in 3 years consecutively. Yes, so it was a pretty low moment, not just for myself, but for the entire family. I think the person that had the biggest hit was my mom, who obviously lost her mom, her husband, and her first son in 3 years consecutively. So I mean, who can handle that? But she did. I think, when she looks around and sees the surviving kids, we were her source of strength to, go on, knowing that if anything happens to her, who's going to take care of us? So I had to tap into that strength to automatically kind of take on the role of the first son, even though that I'm not the first twin. My twin brother is actually the older one. But where I'm from, just like the Yoruba people, if I'm right, the last twin to come out is considered the older one. It's the same as where I'm from, Onitsha. So I'm considered to be the older twin. So I had to take on the role of not just the first son, but also the father in a way from a young age. So it was a tough moment for us, but we were able to, get through it. That is the reason why I believe that there is nothing that can put me down. If I'm able to go through that and survive, if we as a family were able to go through that and survive, then I don't think there's anything that can bring us down. But it was definitely a low moment for myself and the entire family as a whole. My highest moment in life would be the moment that I won the Good Ultimate Search, because it was a journey that started almost like everything else that I've done, purely out of curiosity and wanting to know what the force is about. I tried that in 2010. I got far but couldn't make it into the jungle. I came back again in 2011, and it's one thing for you to say, oh, I want to go for this show, I want to go for this show. That feeling when the show actually wants to start and it's time for you to actually go audition and you start to get cold feet and you tell yourself, let me just wait, maybe next year. Having the strength to actually drag yourself out of the house and get into the stadium and seeing a record 26,000 people at the time, and knowing that there can only be one winner. First of all, it messes with your psyche. You first of all ask yourself, why am I even here? What makes me so special? You see people that are stronger than you, faster than you, possibly smarter than you, more handsome than you, more beautiful than you are, probably have more to offer than you do. So what makes you special? So I feel like you have to work on your psyche first before it can tell on your physical ability. So actually going through that and eventually emerging the winner of Good Ultimate Search was the highest point, or has been the highest point in my life so far, because it was not easy. And contrary to what a lot of people think, if I hadn't gone for the show, I would have probably still had the mindset that most reality shows, if not all of them, are planned. I would not deny it. I've said it in front of the brand. I do not believe that at the time, I did not believe that there's any legit reality show where they don't already know the winner. And if I hadn't gone for the show, I'd have probably still had the mindset. But having gone through that process and knowing deep down inside my heart and before God and man that no man or woman showed me, Chris, this is where the hidden treasure is, or Chris, this is what you have to do, or showed me any, shortcuts or led me to find it. Knowing that in my heart, I can only vouch for the show that I've gone for. I don't know about others. So it was a big deal for me to have, eventually won the show. Considering the fact that I was the smallest in the entire, all the contestants and everything. But I was pretty fast though. I think that was what I had that they didn't have. So it was a very high point for me in my life. That I can think of off the top of my head right now. I think everyone, especially the female fans, everyone wants to. Someone once told me once that she wants to have a baby with me. I'm like, okay, do you want to get married? She says, no, I just want to have a baby with you. And I don't know if that's weird, or too weird, because I feel like maybe a lot of people have gotten weirder things from fans, but that's probably like the weirdest I've faced so far. And it's come a lot more often than, you know, in the past couple of years, or months, weeks, days actually. People always say that, especially the girls, they want to have. I'm like, well, why would you want to have a kid with someone you're not getting married to? They said they just want to have a baby. I'm like, okay, thank you, but that's not gonna happen. If I'm gonna have a kid, I want to have a kid with my life partner. So other than that, I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head. Maybe when I do, I'll let you know. I do not think I'll be willing to donate my sperm just for the sake of satisfying someone that wants to have a baby with me. For the right cause, I might be open-minded to it, but it's going to have to take a lot of convincing. But not just for the sake of someone who wants to have a baby with me. No way. But you never know, things happen in life. Maybe there will be a time where we feel like maybe the population of the world is starting to decrease, and then we need more people to occupy and then we want more babies and stuff like that. But I think generally, no, I wouldn't want to, you know, donate. The only donation I'm making is to my own family. So, yeah. I think it's my face. I think my face is my selling point. And then in my face, I think a lot of well, considering the comments I've gotten so far, I think a lot of females are attracted to my lips. Now, the messed up thing about that is when I was younger, I was so insecure and I had complex issues because of the size of my lips. You know, as a kid, there's a way your head is and your lips, at the time I didn't have no beards, so my lips was the most outstanding feature in my face. So the moment you see me, I just see lips. So I always looked very weird. I remember all the pictures I used to take at the time, you would never see me smile or even have a straight face. I'm always like this. It was that bad, like I'm not kidding you. I'll find some of those pictures and show you. But, you know, growing up, I started to realize that, you know, people actually liked it. And I had to work on myself first to develop the confidence to accept it the way it is. It's not gonna go away, so I might as well just embrace it and make the most of it. And then when I realized that people actually liked it, and then the beard started coming and, you know, to, you know, give you that, you know, fine boy look and all of that, I'm like, yo, let's go. So I think it's my most outstanding feature on my face. But the face, generally, I think is my selling point. It would probably be Yvonne Nelson. It's just a sex scene, right? Yeah, sex scene. We're not actually doing anything. Plus, she's more of my spec than the other two. Yeah. Incompetence. I don't even have to think about that. It's a major turnoff. Especially when I expect a lot from someone. So what I do now is try to not expect a lot from anybody, regardless of, you know, how important you are to me or what role you play in my life, because human beings are fallible. So, but incompetence pisses me off, especially when, here's the thing, let me take for instance, I'm in a relationship with someone and we have an issue over something that you do that is obviously wrong, not just in my eyes, but you see it as well. You probably didn't see it at the time. And then we have a conversation about it and you kind of do it again, whether intentionally or not. It pisses me off. Don't touch this. If you touch it, it's gonna spoil this, and then you touch it and we argue about it and you do it again. That's just being stubborn and disrespectful. But more to the word incompetence is when I expect you to be able to deliver at places. I would never expect anything that I know that you cannot do, because I would never want you to expect anything from me that you know that I cannot do. But when we know ourselves to the level that we know what we can expect for each other and you let me down, it's a major turn off for me. Major, major turn off. I might love you, but I won't like you so much for that moment. Intelligence, eloquence, happy-go-lucky person, jovial person, smile a lot, laugh a lot, be happy for no reason, I am instantly drawn to you because there's a lot of good vibe and energy coming from you that I want to tap into it. I want to feel that energy. I want to know what the source is. So that turns me on, that attracts me to you instantly. So every year, I try to outdo myself, do better than the last year, act better than the last movie that I was in, speak better than the last conference or whatever that I was at, just basically be a better version of myself at every point in time. I set standards for myself. I raise the bar so high that I try to beat my own record. I am not in competition with anyone other than myself. So I have a goal to always surpass my previous record. As far as I'm concerned right now, I'm in showbiz, I'm an actor, so I want to do more movies, right? Not just any film. When I started, I was just I wanted to act film, be in film, be on TV. But right now, I'm a bit more selective with my roles. I don't even mind doing 2 movies a year as long as they're good films, because I've gotten to a point where I don't only feel the need to satisfy the audience, but also to satisfy myself and feel a sense of fulfillment in what I do. So if I don't connect to that script, thank you, next one. So yeah, I just want to do more good films for now while I'm young and I'm into what I'm doing right now. And we'll see what the future holds, and I have a passion for music. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. I'm still having cold feet somehow. But I think I'm a relatively good singer. And I think that if I do delve into music, I'm going to give a lot of them a run for their money. To sing you a song. I found love in you, and I've learned to love me too. Forever and a while, and my heart is where you stay. And this is why I love you. Oh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me. And this is why I love you. Oh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me. Buy my single and my double. Well, I think I pretty much shared everything that I can possibly share, because there's really nothing more. They know most things. I think what people don't know about me that many people might like to know, which I will still stand my ground and keep to myself, is relationship status. Is there someone in the picture and all of that? No, thank you. I'll keep that to myself. A lot of people have said, oh, because you're keeping it to yourself means that there is someone. You don't hear it from my mouth, yeah. That is your own conclusion. But other than that, they know most things. Most people now know that I'm a twin. A lot of people didn't know that before. I have 4 sisters, 1 older, 3 younger. I'm very close to my mom. I think I'm my mom's favorite child. Okay, so this same person that we're talking about, my mom, has taught me that the moment you marry, your family, your immediate family of procreation becomes your number 1 priority. So if it's coming from her, I have to listen to her, even if I didn't want to. So the moment I get married, my wife and my kids become top priority. That does not mean that everyone else in my family of orientation is not priority to me, but they have to come first.
Oh yes, ma'am, and we already have plans of getting a foothold in the pharmaceutical industry, and Edge is exactly what we need.
Good, very good.
Yeah, is the reason why we are not where we want to be yet. My question is, where exactly do we want to be? Because for me, standard is relative. A lot of people want or think that they want Nollywood to be as big as Hollywood. My take is that would probably never happen. Not because we are not good enough, but because I feel the need for us to focus our attention in becoming the best at what we do and not becoming the best at what someone else does. These people have been doing this for a long time. You cannot be more hip hop than a hip hop person. You cannot be more white than a white person. You cannot be more black than a black person. We have great content. We have great original stories. We have great talent here. Our major problem, I would say, is budget, because we don't have a lot of money. A small budget film in Hollywood is probably a very big budget film here. But like I said, standard is relative. You mentioned The Wedding Party. So you feel like it's a standard for us to measure how good our movies are. Was it a good film? A lot of people have different opinions about that. Was it a good script? A lot of people have different opinions about that. Yes, I've seen very high budget movies that did not even do up to 2 weeks in the cinema. And I've seen very low budget films that won plenty of awards, both individually and collectively. Right? So the problem is not, oh, it's high budget, oh, it's low budget. First of all, what is the genre of the film that you're doing? Is it comedy? Are you going to do it well? If you want to do comedy, do it well. If you want to do action, do it well. If you want to do drama, do it well. You know? So the problem is us. We feel the need to want to be like the people in Hollywood when we should focus on being the best at what we do. They find us extremely fascinating. They cannot understand how we're able to shoot a movie in 10 days, a feature film, 1 hour, 45 minutes in 10 days, 14 days max, when they shoot it in months. They don't know how we do that. To them, it's a phenomenon that they cannot explain. So why can't we leverage on the fact that these people are fascinated by what we do? A lot of studies have come down from there to find out how we work here. You know, so I feel like we should first of all be proud of what we do. Yes, there's a lot of trash in the market. A lot of trashy movies, just like in the music industry. We have the good ones, and we have the bad ones. There's a lot of trashy movies in Hollywood as well. So let's focus on us, make ourselves better, and then draw their attention. We already have their attention. And then maybe we can be the best at Nollywood. Let them be the best at Hollywood. We are not trying to be the best at Hollywood standard or surpass them. They are here, we are here. They climbed, we said we climbed. That is how I see it. It's that simple. Hi guys, my name is Chris Okagbue. I am an actor and a producer, and you are locked on to Priority TV. Stay here, don't go anywhere.